Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Oh, how are you guys? How are you doing today? Hope you guys are doing great. I find out that the weather today looks good. We must be grateful to that. Yeah, to even see the weather. Um, yeah, yes, okay, Nate, please sit properly. Okay, okay, guys, I think we'll start a normal class today. We need to just recognize the presence of Allah in our midst. Yeah, can somebody just say the Al-Fatiha for us, please? Yes, Cynthia, please. First, man. Hey, so I hope you guys are doing good. Great. Okay, okay. Mm, But today, we'll start by stating our golden rules before we go into our proper session of class. Yes. Rule one. Yes, Abu. Okay. Always lift your hand up when you want to speak. You don't speak in chorus. Lift your hand up, the teacher calls on you, then you ask your question or you make your statement. Yes, Vice. Okay, yes, fine. So that tells you when you want to go out, you must take an excuse from your instructor. You just don't walk so others. That way, we have a well-organized and behaved class. Okay, that takes us to our next agenda for today's class. Now, and in our last class, um, remember we talked about the skeletal system, and we must not forget our parent topic for this week is what? The human motion system. And in the human motion system, we have several subtopics. And in our last class, one of the topic was what? The skeletal system. You know, talking about the skeletal system is a very important subtopic in the human motion system. See? So, in that light, today I promised you guys that I will give you a quick video. So that will keep you up in remembering the part of the skeletal system. Yeah. So today I will try at my most see how I can show you a particular video which is talking about the skeletal system. All these are things that will help you to remember. Yeah, these are things that will help you to remember this particular topic, because as we get along and as we continue to move along, you find out that we continue to deal with all these parts. It is very important that you always know the skeletal system and the different parts of the skeletal system. So I promise I will give you a video. I'll show you a video about that. Video showing the skeletal system. Okay. I think if we're not having it now, for now, I will just move on and show you a brief photo or quick, yeah, yeah, quick slide of it. You see, last time we were not having a glance at it. So you find out, you see, this is a skeletal system. Remember, we dealt with the different parts of the skeletal system: the head, the arms, the skull, the brain, the wrist, right to the foot, the phalanges, etc. So this is what we're talking about. And don't forget, we also listed the different parts of the skeletal system. You see, notwithstanding, that takes us to, that will take us to our next topic. But before we go to our next topic, before we go to our next topic, I want people to see how they have learned about this skeletal system. Just a few questions, and then you answer them quick, so we move on to our next topic. Yeah. Okay. So the first one, can you please tell me what is the smallest bone in the skeletal system? What's the name of the smallest bone found in the human skeletal system? Can someone tell me? Yes. Oh, yeah. The smallest bone is known as the stirrup bone. And where is it found? In the ears, right? Okay, next question. Let's go fast. Yeah, what's the longest bone? The skeletal system, and where is it found? Okay, okay. Yes. Oh, okay. Yes, Manta. The femur bones, known as what? The femur. Femur bone, which found beneath, right? Right down after the leg, going down. Yeah, in the feet, after the leg, the next long bone you can see, it's the longest bone in the skeletal system, which is known as a femur bone. One or two more questions. How many bones is being found in the human skeletal system? Can anybody tell me? It ranges between? Yes, in a matured skeletal system, you'll be able to find 206 bones. 206 bones. Great. Fine. Yeah. One more technical question. How many bones is being found in a 6-year-old baby as an infant? If the adult is having 206 bones, how many bones can you find in the infant? Anyone asking this question will have a brand new pen for me to do. So, yeah, everybody is answering his hand. Okay, let's take it one after a time. Yeah, one at a time. Yes. Abina, an infant. What's the bone? How many bone? Wow, yes. 270 bones. Pop. Okay, next. Ifa. Correct. 270 bones. Okay, all of you, I'll give you brand new pens. Right? Fine. I will give you brand new pens. Okay, that takes us to our subtopic under the same movement system. We are going to talk about very important parts that are being integrated, yeah, in talking about the human movement system or the movement system, right? So let me drive you on to our next topic for today. Okay, so our next topic for today is the part one, composition of very important part considered in the movement system. First of all, When we talk about the movement system, what does it mean? These are parts that are being integrated together in the human system that generate and maintain movement at all levels of bodily function. When we talk about integrated, parts that come together, they join, right? Join. For example, you see this, my joints, right? It's joined with what? My arm, my hand, right? My phalanges, everything. But there are important parts that we composed have been a composition, what we are seeing now in the broader view. And these are important parts we need to talk about today. Yeah. So that takes us through the different types of parts. Don't forget, when we talk about this movement system, it's the integration of body systems that generate and maintain movement, all levels of the bodily functions, which helps you to move, right? Human movement is a complex behavior within a specific context. It has its limitation and is influenced by social and environmental and personal factors. Based, I can further say, based on the individual itself, right? Now, today we talk about three important facts because we have to go further, but today our limits will be one is the what? Skeletal, which is made of what? Bones. Within that, we have the nerves, right? The nerves. And the third one is what? The muscles. Skeletal, which is the bones, the nerves, and the muscle. Again, the skeletal, the nerves, and the muscle. Now, because of time, we move fast. What do we mean when we talk about these bones? Of course, we all know the skeleton, or the skeleton is the hard structure that protects the internal organs of a living thing, right? Of a living thing. The skeletons can be inside the body or outside the body based on the type of animals. In mammals, which include humans, the skeleton is made of bones. All the bones, when they are joined together, make the skeletal system of a body. The skeletal is made of what is referred to as bones, right? It's referred to as bones. Now, if we know what is the skeleton, what is it made of is bones, okay? The second one we talked about is, yes, correct. Second one we talked about is the nerve. Fine. What is the nerve? When we talk about the nerve, a nerve is a bundle of fibers that receives and sends messages between the body and the brain. Again, a nerve is a bundle of fibers that receives and sends messages between the body and the brain. When we say send, it gives. From one, you, the sender, from the one point, it takes to another point, right? So the nerve is a bundle. Bundle, when we say bundle, it's not one, right? Bundle of fiber, meaning so many fibers together, they receive signals and also send these signals as message to where? The brain. There is a, when we go there at another level, there's what is being referred to as the neuron cells. Yeah, that's one of the kind of signals that neuron cells is responsible to send signals to and fro, right? So the nerve is a signal of that neuron cells that sends messages to and fro the brain. These messages are sent by chemical and electrical changes in the cells, technically called neurons. That makes up the nerves. I've already talked about it, the neuron cells. The neurons, these are responsible, for example, you have stepped your foot on a pin on the ground, which hurts so badly. That neuron cells has to send that signal direct to your brain as fast as possible. Then you feel the pain. Ah, oh, I've stepped on something. And it goes down and takes back and goes to your mind and say, oh, yeah, this is a pin or needle which I have sent something on. So you see, so that's how the nerves work. So see how important it is, right? And that tells, if I've stepped on it, what is going to happen? That nerve tells me, move. See how the movement works? I have to move my foot to stop stepping on that thing so that the pain will reduce. So you see how the nerve works in that movement, right? Don't forget, with the bones, it's the kind of force that helps me to even move to that point wherein I have stepped, wherein the nerve has also told me, hey, no, you have stepped on something bad. I have to move my legs. You see how sensitive the nerve is? Okay, now let's move on to another important one, which is known as what? The muscle. The muscle. The muscle. Now, a non-polar muscle, an organ made up of what? Of muscle tissue, or the tissue itself, enabling the contraction or tension in an animal body to effect movement or locomotion. Supplement muscles are specialized body parts that produces movement or locomotion in animals. Don't forget, mammals are also referred to as animals, right? Now, let's go further. When talking about these muscles, for example, you can see an example of a muscle figure, right? But for us, because of we are not involved in other types of hard practices, you cannot see all those big figures, but all of us have muscles, right? These muscles are responsible for contractions in the process of locomotion. Yeah, in the process of locomotion, they help the body to move. Without these muscles, the bone and the nerves cannot work properly. So when the muscles are joined to the bone, inclusive with the nerves, so you have a proper sense of moving, right? You have a proper sense of body language movement, proper sense of a supplement muscle which are being specialized and part of the body which produces the movement or locomotion in our body. So you find out that these particular parts are very important in talking about the motion movement system. Now, to go further, I would like you guys to divide into different groups, and we have to find out the function of this very important parts. How and why are they important in this body, in the movement, right? So it's 6 of you, so meaning you have to divide it into 3 groups: group A, group B, group C. I call you one group bone, which is skeletal parts. I call the next group nerve, and I'll call the other group what? Group muscle. So now I would like all this group to sit down and give the function of these different parts. One group chooses group muscle, another group chooses group nerve, and another group chooses group skeletal. Group skeletal, which is also referred to as the bones. Then I will give all of you 15 minutes to observe based on all the classes. Remember, we've talked about the skeletal system. We also talked about certain functions. And so that will really help you, give you a clue on how. Remember, we've also talked about, I've given a definition about the different parts you are now going to talk about. So that also gives you a clue on how to note, how to find out the importance of this. If I know the group, if I know what is a nerve, then I can, or I could be able to talk about the nerve, what it does in the body. If I know what is a muscle, I will be able to have an idea of what the muscle does in the movement system. If I also talk about the bone, which is a skeleton, then I'll have an idea of what to say about the functions of skeleton and the system. So I give you 15 minutes each. So after that, we come up with our different presentation. Notwithstanding, I also give you a full 80 papers for your presentation. After 15 minutes, then we move forward. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Time is up. So I would like everybody to present. I would like everybody to present. Yeah. Who is going to present for the first group, please? I want you to come up. Okay. To save time, now I am going to give the different functions. What I would like you to do is like exchange all the plaques, exchange the plaques. Group A, take your plaque to group B, to group C. And group C, take your plaque to group A. Correct. Mix it. Yes, you to that. Okay, fine. Now, then we start. From there, we have an idea of what we are talking about. Now, remember, we're now talking about the importance of these different compositions. And specifically, we are now putting it in the human system. We start with the bones, right? Now, talking about the bones, your bones serves and have 5 main functions in your body. One, including the supporting your body and helping you move, right? They give support. They help your body to move. That tells you without the bones, it's difficult to move. Your bones literally hold up your body and keep it from collapsing to the ground. So, see, sensitively, you will be able to know that without those bones, you cannot even stand up. Okay, you see an example of an image wherein the skeleton is inside the body of the man that is running. And I would also like to tell you that you will find out that the body takes the structure of what? The skeletal system. So one thing you should be able to know, without the body, the particular skeletal system, your body cannot take this kind of structure, unique and sensitive structure you have. So you see, so the skeletal supports the body system, right? So literally up your body, you find out that your bones literally hold up your body and keep it from collapsing to the ground. It's also protecting your internal organs, right? You find out that we can go further. Let's see our tusk here, wherein we have our heart is being protected by the ribs. As you can see, the different ribs, they are in, it's like a cage, sort of. Your heart is inside there, and other very sensitive organs of the human system has been kept inside that something like a rib cage. Yeah. The other thing it does, it produces your blood cells. It produces your blood cells. It also store and release fats that is coming in the body. Another thing it does, what? It stores and release minerals. So you can see the importance, right, of the skeletal or the bone. That takes us to our next. Okay, the next one. The next one, now we're talking about the nerve. The nerve is also known as what? Combined nerves within all the bodies referred to as our nervous system. What does it does to our body? It controls our body internal environment. What? To maintain homeostasis. An example of this is the regulation of body temperature. Whether your body is feeling hot, whether your body is feeling cold, this is responsible, right, to control that. It's also what? It is programming of the spinal cord and the reflexes. Remember, the spinal cord is a very important area or part in the body. So this particular nerve is programming. When we talk about programming, it's coordinating whatever integrity that is part of that spinal cord system reflex. An example, you find out that it's sketches. For example, you want to move and down, you want to rise up, you want to go sideways. This your spinal cord plays a very important role, and it's been programmed by what? The nerves. Don't forget, it's been programmed by what? The nerve. Don't forget, because of those neurons, sensitive neurons, which communicate to and fro the brain. It also gives you the power for memory and learning, voluntary control of movement. Remember, I was talking about you stepping on something that has pierced you. That neuron cell is running back to your brain and say, oh, you've stepped on something. Oh, yeah, I felt it. Then it says, take up your foot. Up. Your foot is up. Could you imagine that? That's the importance of the nerve that deals with that neuron system. So you see how important the nerve is to us. Very important. Very important. And the last one, we talked about what? The muscle. Why are muscles important to the body? Why are muscles important to the body? These muscles help you move or lift things. And it also pump the blood through your body and even help you breathe. When you think about your muscles, you probably think most about the ones you can control. Remember, the ones you can control. These are your voluntary muscles, which means you can control their movements. You see, this muscle, based on your muscles, it capitalizes on the power and strength based on your muscle, can help you to do so many activities, right? You see people with very built muscles, they will lift something more heavier than you with the little muscles. People with strong muscles, they can run as fast as you cannot run. So you find out that based on the type of muscles you have, will make you to do more activities which others cannot do. How the muscle is important. So without the muscle, this movement is not effective and cannot even work. So you find out that these whole things are what? Being integrated together. Remember, this takes us back to our first statement here. You said the movement system is the integration of body system that generates and maintain movement at all levels of bodily function. So you find out that these particular parts are being integrated and they are very important. Don't forget, there are more other aspects that when you go into these ones, that you will know cartilage, blah, blah, blah. But I will tell you, But when talking about these frames, then it takes you to those other steps as we still continue with our movement system. Okay, class, we'll stop here for now. But let's have a quick summary. Now, remember, we talked about what? The skeletal, which is the bones, the nerves, the muscles. And these are parts being integrated to complement the human movement. Is that not so? Which makes it what? Complex behavior within a specific context. A complex behavior within a specific context, right? Few questions fast. Few questions fast. Yes. What is the importance of the nerves? Can somebody quick say something? Yes. Correct. Yes. What's the importance of the muscle? Correct. Yes, of course. What's the importance of the skeletal, the bones, to be specific? Correct. Great. Okay, fine. Now, what I would like you to do, I'm going to give you an assignment. Fine. Now, take your books. I'm going to give you an assignment. Now, question number 1. Give the differences between the skeletal, the nerves, and the muscles. Give the difference. Question number 2. Why are these 3 systems or these 3 vital parts? Why are these 3 vital parts important in the movement system? Now, those 2 questions must be answered in our next class. Those 2 questions must be answered before we move to our next topic in our next class. Yeah? Right. Of course, yes. Please don't forget. Just in a, yeah, of course, please, and come with it for me. Yes. Okay. Once more, I thank you for listening, and I hope everybody understood our class for today, our topic for today. And I hope you will go home and read and do my assignments and come with it during our next class. Once more, I want to thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Thank you. Please, don't forget to face. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.